The Chinese have the most sophisticated and ancient cultures within any human history period since the dawn of human time. And today I'm going to be discussing my experience with Chinese individuals and how I've been thoroughly impressed. So for a while when I was younger, 17 now, I used to buy items from Chinese suppliers and then resell them online. So there was an industrial area within my country, and every single week on a Friday I would make sure to go there and I would chat with the Chinese. So there was one particular shop, and it's called C45. And at C45 there was this old man, and he was a Chinese guy. We used to call him Madala. He would be running around sorting out stock, dealing with all of his employees, and Madala has a special place in my heart. So whenever I needed to ask for a price, I would speak to one of the employees and say, "Hi ma'am, how are you? Please can you tell me how much this particular torch is?" And then she would shout, "Madala," which means old man in Zulu. And then Madala would come. Now this Chinese man was a very sweet soul. He was very extravagant. So he had a big, thick Louis Vuitton belt, and he used to wear loafers. Looked like one of those tough Chinese guys that are part of the mafia. And I respect the Chinese. In fact, they have a special place in my heart. So Madala would come around and he would tell us the price. And the beautiful thing about Madala was that all around, it was a very small shop, maybe the size of this room, maybe double the size of this room. And what Madala had done was he had taken his ashtrays, which he was selling, and he put ashtrays all around the shop. So then whenever I walked into the shop, when Madala was there, I could see and smell him, and smell smoke all around the shop. And I knew for a fact that Madala was there. And he had a special place in my heart because every time I would walk to C43, that's the shop where he was working, as I walked in, he would say, "Hello," I would say, "Hello Madala, how are you doing?" And he would say, long time." Interestingly, 8 months ago was the first time I walked into C43, maybe a little bit before that. And Madala wasn't very good at speaking English at all. He barely knew any words at all. But from those 8 months till now, people saying, "Madala, what's the price? Madala, how much is this?" His English developed to a point where perhaps he wasn't able to articulate himself in the best way, but Madala was definitely able to understand. I say, "Madala, how much is this?" 22, 45. He could tell you the price, and his brain was so sharp. Madala, being an old man, maybe between 60, 65, he was still able to remember the prices of everything. And that was a beautiful thing. So Madala, over these 8 months, has now gone from not being able to speak a single word to being able to fully understand English and converse in a way that he gets the message across. What's the point of communication if we're looking at from Chinese to English? The point of communication is to convey a message, to converse, not necessarily to have a whole intellectual discussion. So if I ask Madala what the price of an item is, he can tell me because he's able to convey the information. He doesn't have to say, "Yes sir, it's lovely to speak with you today. My name is Madala, nice to meet you. Today I would like to tell you what the price of your item is, and this torch is a LED light." Forget about all this. 22, straight to the point, finished, done. So I wanted to come back to the abacus. I was watching this documentary 10 plus years ago, and it was all of these Chinese kids, normal kids. Just imagine normal kids like you and I if you're a child, or when you were a child, all the kids in your school. But what they do is they train these kids from the age of, let's say, 5 to 7, all the way up until the end of normal school, 17, 18, and they train them how to use an abacus. I have no idea how to use an abacus. Can you believe it? This beautiful piece of ancient culture, I have no idea how to use it, and it's actually a disservice that I don't. But what they do is after the age of 17, they start to teach them how to use a mental abacus. So you'll see the kids going like this. Because what they're doing is they understand the abacus in their brains, and it's as if they're going like moving these beads up and down, up and down, up and down, calculating and counting. And they can add and subtract, multiply, divide, and any operation on any set of numbers like that. Superhuman, super speed calculator, way faster than the calculator. The Chinese are some of the hardest working people and some of the smartest people. And yes, maybe other people would agree, or would argue, not agree, that because there's so many people who are Chinese, 3 billion plus within mainland China, then they are going to be the super smart, and they're going to be more super smart than any other nation because of the amount of people that they have. But I would also argue that it's their culture that's their strength. Chinese people are so hardworking. I was at a school, and there was a lady there named Mandy. Now, before Mandy, it was just normal kids from our town that would come to the school, and let's say the top performers maybe get 85, 90, a couple of distinctions. The second Mandy came into the school, she had this beast mode, like a killer instinct. She came in, she did everything. She learned a new cultural language because depending on what school, sometimes they'll opt to teach a different language. She managed to become fluent in that language, fully able to speak, understand, converse, read, write. She learned the whole thing back to front from the grade from grade 10 to grade 12, and she actually became head girl of the school. Even though it isn't necessarily culturally Chinese, but she became head girl of the school because she just worked hard and she outworked everyone else. Everyone else was relying on their intellect or the fact that they had a good tutor or something. But Mandy came in and she attacked. She, as I said, learned a fluent language. She got distinctions in every single subject. She played sports and she was even the captain of a sports team. I believe it was the captain of the hockey team in the school. I'm not entirely sure about the sport. But this Mandy came in and she attacked and beat everyone. The Chinese culture is so hardworking. If you're from a country called South Africa, my country, which I'm living in right now, then perhaps we could argue that we don't know how to work hard. Yes, maybe out of the 50 million people here, there are some who work hard. Same thing in the States, same thing in the United Kingdom. That there are some people who work hard. But apparently, in South Africa, we don't know how to work hard. Yes, we know how to have a few drinks on the weekend, have a packet of chips, do all these funny things. But do we know how to be like Mandy and come in with that killer instinct, learn a new language, and within the space of 2 years become the head girl, get distinctions, and even run the hockey team and be a captain of the sports team? They have a different mode. Madala is already 60, 65. In a Western civilization, Madala would be forced to retire with a little pension, and maybe that pension would get stolen. But Madala is 66, going on 65, and he is still smoking cigarettes and doing all these amazing things. Madala has a special place in my heart, and so do the Chinese people have a special place in my heart, because they taught me a lot of the lessons. There was another lady at that shop named Angel, beautiful woman. She really is not just beautiful in the way that she looks, God-given beauty, but inside she is a beautiful person. Angel is a genius beyond note, just like Madala, but even to a great extent. She knows exactly how many units of stock are throughout her shop and exactly what the price is. And she understands how to adjust it for the selling price versus the stock price. If you buy things in wholesale from the Chinese suppliers, you often get a discount. So they'll say, LED torch, 45 Rand. No, but Angel, I want to buy 6 pieces. From 45 Rand, it goes to 20 Rand. She understands both prices. So there are hundreds of items in the shop. So she knows, let's say 500 items times 2. Normal price and the wholesale price. I'm so impressed. When I asked Angel some advice as to what I can do in business, she said, go to school. And I've been feeling that I should maybe drop out and give it up. But that's a lesson that she taught me, just like what Mandy did. Mandy didn't give up school. She could have gone to business. She could have helped anyone else. She could have made a fortune. But instead she chose school. And that's the lesson that I learned from the Chinese. To be professional, to know your numbers, know what's going on, and perhaps to continue with school. That's why the Chinese have changed my life.